So, hey guys, it's Nina
And Pam.
with Bari-Bestiez. Sorry, I caught Pam off guard. So, we have Rob with Busy Bariatrics joining us today, and he is our special guest speaker. And I'm really excited to learn some more from him. He helps us get through our busy lives and still sticking to our bariatric journey and helping us get through the pitfalls that we run into on occasion. So, Rob, I'm going to hand it over to you if you don't mind.
Cool. Thanks, Nina. And Pam, thanks as always for
Hey,
having me
Rob.
on. It's that time of year where it's a little cold. It can be a little bit of a challenge to get out of bed. And for me, like being 4 years post-op, maintaining 150-pound weight loss, and being in a relatively good place, a lot of the times I struggle with why do I have to be a bariatric patient anymore? Why can't I just go back to eating what I want, sleeping in, drinking all the alcohol. So tonight, I really hope that I can give a little bit of insight into how I learned to embrace the boring. So, Nina, if possible, would you be able to let me share my screen? And
Oh, yes. It should be under here, under host tools, right?
yep. Or
Uh,
if you just hit share, it should say allow others, and then I
yeah, that's
can
what
take
I
it.
want. I was a professional to this, and then boom.
Just to give you an idea, I have recorded over 200 of these videos for my clients and courses, and I still mess up where the share screen and the record button are.
Well,
So
and I'm going to tell on myself, I'm a Microsoft consultant, but I'm a Microsoft person. I know Teams like it's nobody's business, but Zoom is a very new tool to me. So
I
I
say
have,
this respectfully, but it's the last place I ever want to do a group.
yes, it's very just, so let's see. I have, oh, I think I have to click on your name is what it is. Okay, here we
Yep.
go. And make host. There you go. That should
All
give you
right.
all the rights that you need.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen okay? Can I
I
get
can see
the
it.
thumbs up, a hey, a good? Awesome.
Yes.
So, like I said earlier, your bariatric journey is very exciting, and Nina did a really good job in our opening of explaining, like, with her recent paniculectomy. I think I said that right, and if I didn't, I apologize.
I call it the panty when I can't say it.
Perfect, the panty. I still struggle with vertical sleeve gastrectomy, but it's very easy to do all the work of bariatric surgery when you're in the single digits. So you're 1 month post-op, 2 months post-op, three, four. We all know to count to 10, but as your journey goes on, it really becomes harder from a psychological point to continue to do the work of weight loss surgery when you don't want to, when it can sometimes be cold, when you don't necessarily have everything ready to go when you need to. So, the goal of tonight's call is really just to give you an idea of how to do the work that'll get you results in a long-term spacing, or when you're really just not wanting to do it. So, if you have a pen and paper, take a minute and start to jot down a couple thoughts on these. And I want you to think about, how often do you feel the need to spice things up in your journey to stay motivated? Have you ever given up on a habit because it felt boring or repetitive? What
Absolutely.
would yeah, what would happen if you embraced the boring and focused on consistency instead? So, for the sake of time, I will let you pause, reflect, screenshot how you need to do this. But for me, one of the biggest struggles I think I had prior to weight loss surgery is I signed up for every challenge, every 30 days to fat loss, every lose 20 pounds in 20 days. And there was a lot of that where I was really chasing dopamine throughout that process and trying to find what would work for me. The more that I realized that it was just doing the consistent work over and over again, I was able to understand both how my body worked, how my body responded to things, and how I could get better results. That's a big challenge for bariatric patients. Many times, especially when the weight is falling off, we don't feel that we need habits because the weight is coming off despite things like I remember July after surgery, I ate a Whopper and I lost 2 pounds the next day, and I lost 7 pounds the whole week. As 2 or 3 weeks went on, I was still continuing to drop significant amounts of weight without really having the right habits, patterns, and behaviors in place. And as I went on, I realized with a lot of my lifts, I needed to change programs every 2 weeks. I wanted to try keto or paleo because I was tired of my meal prep. I was always chasing shiny objects. And the problem is, when you keep chasing shiny objects, I want you to imagine like if you started going in one direction, then you said, you know what, I'm kind of bored of this. I'm going to go back in this direction. And then it's maybe I want to circle back. I'm going to try this again. What ends up happening is you keep going around in a triangle or a circle or going in the same 4 steps in each direction and not really getting anywhere further. Whereas if you just consistently hit a number and committed to something like a year, you would be much further along in a linear pattern. So, why do bariatric patients struggle with embracing the boring? Well, it's because that's usually the work that doesn't get praised. In the early days of Instagram and social media, everyone was doing water checks and protein checks and tagging each other and celebrating step goals. And as you move further on throughout your journey, it just becomes another thing to do. Where we need to learn to work as bariatric patients is how to learn how to find the value and success in repetition, consistency, and the small daily actions that add up after time. The reason that this matters is shiny object syndrome seldom breeds success. Most people go to the gym and change their workout so frequently that they no longer get the benefits of progressive overload. And it's why they look like they don't lift, even though they're there all the same times. I want you to think of if you didn't commit to something and you're scrolling on Netflix and you watch the first episode of a show and you're like, this was pretty good. I'll watch the second episode. But then you're like, the second episode wasn't as good as the first episode. I'm going to go to a new show. And then it's like, oh, maybe I'll watch like 2 episodes of this show and I get bored. And then 3 episodes of the next show. Long story short, there are a lot of really good shows that it takes to the finale of a series to really pay off, and you're missing a lot of the payoffs if you stop and start and keep resetting. So, working on just some basic patience throughout the process to allow consistent actions over time will help you in your bariatric journey. So, why do we need to embrace the boring and important of your bariatric journey? Well, it's really a marathon and not a sprint. A lot of the times when I meet with clients and they're 1 or 2 months post-op or they're struggling with regain, it's actually quite a similar story the entire way through. Many of that story almost always starts with the same messaging of, yes, like I really liked part of this and then I got bored, or I just need to do like 15 different workouts and then I'll lose all the weight. When in reality, it's sometimes just that simple linear process of small actions being repeated daily are going to lead to bigger results. The other thing that we need to do is focus on progress over outcomes. So it's not always about the excitement, it's about showing up. January is like the perfect month to talk about this because, as we said earlier, right now I think all of America is in a polar vortex as we are explaining this, and parts of the country are getting snow for the first time. But it is cold. I joke when we run our summer camp, it is very easy to work when it is warm out, the sun is shining, and everything's going well. It is very hard to do that exact same work when it's cold, the weight is already off, and we're in maintenance. So, a lot of the times we really focus in Busy Bariatrics and in our bariatric journeys on just showing up or saying that instead of having to have like amazing workouts every day or working out when I feel right, it's I'm committed to doing 3 workouts a week. Doesn't mean you have to do 4 workouts a week, but it certainly does mean you shouldn't be hitting 2. The other part is by having like a very consistent, smaller, doable scale, it prevents burnout. If you are waiting for motivation to get things done, you are absolutely going to be dealing with failure. And the reason I say that is when you are in your first 6 months and the weight is falling off, you could probably shake a tambourine and be able to lose 2.5 pounds a week. And yes, that's really exciting and really good. But the bigger problem is what happens when the weight stops falling off? What habits are you going to keep on to? Are you going to still keep showing up for yourself? Where I see a lot of regain happen from when I meet with bariatric patients, it's, yeah, in my first year, I was completely motivated. I was running 3 days a week. I was lifting 3 days a week. I was tracking everything on a food scale. And then I gained 20 pounds. I'm like, okay, help me fill in the dots here. What are you doing now in your bariatric journey? It's like, well, I just kind of stopped doing it because I got tired of tracking. Or, oh, I really got bored of doing the same workouts in the gym, so I stopped doing it. Or, I stopped tracking my food because I eat the same things every day. And although we may do that to an extent, when we stop the habits, patterns, and behaviors that got us the results, it also prohibits us from maintaining the maintenance or the long term benefits of doing those things. There's actually a lot of science that proves that what I'm saying is working. And when we see that, we see it through research when it comes to habit formation. Research shows that it takes an average of 66 days to form a habit. Repetition and not variety is key. So, to give you an idea, many people, when they work with a trainer, they'll sign up for about 1 or 2 months and then they'll be like, well, I think I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go off and do it on my own. And then next thing you know, it's 3 months later and they're not doing any of their lifts. They're not doing anything. And it's because habits take longer to form. The other part is the reason habits are important is you really want to get one rock solid down before you move on to the next one. So something as simple as like, look, when we start off right after bariatric surgery, getting your water goal and making it razor sharp with your consistency to today now. I was not a water drinker prior to bariatric surgery, but I almost feel dehydrated when I wake up if I don't start my day with a 24-ounce shaker bottle of water. And I just make a habit of I don't eat food until I get the first 24 ounces down. That's a habit that now I do without even thinking. And that process is called brain efficiency. What brain efficiency is essentially the brain's going to create neural pathways for repetitive actions. It's what kind of makes it automatic. Um, there are very few people who, when they brush their teeth, they are sitting there and going, okay, I need to take the toothpaste, I need to start at the back of the brush, and I need to pull it to the front of the brush. I guess some people will go front to back, but that's like a whole debate we could probably have later. But I'm back to front, and that's the right way to do it for bariatric success, I promise you. And then I brush in an up and down motion. I start from the back molar and I work my way around. I don't think about any of that. It's because I've been brushing my teeth since I guess I was 4. And as someone who has freshly turned 24, I kid, I'm 40. I've been doing it. Like I don't think about it. Some other examples of brain efficiency that really helps me. I own the same pair of Tommy Hilfiger chinos in 5 different colors, and those are my Monday to Friday pants. I don't think about what I wear to work. I have 5 shirts that kind of match with everything, but I know pants, shirts, socks, underwear all goes on the dresser so that when I have to get dressed in the morning, we go. Same with brain efficiency of when I wake up in the morning. Prior to even brushing my teeth, the first thing I'll do is I'll wake up and I'll chug my 24 ounces of water. I'll go upstairs. I will go to the bathroom. I will then, while I'm going to the bathroom, I will check my bank account because that's a whole different subject for a different day. But I'd like to know where those numbers stand. And then I get on the scale. I don't think about it because I've done it every day for 4 years, barring going on vacation or anything else. But the beauty is now I've tracked my finances, I've tracked my weight, and I haven't had to think about it. The other beauty of brain efficiency is because of that, I really have no relationship with the number on the scale. Because I weigh myself daily and it's part of my pattern, it just logs the data, it goes into my tracker, and then I will review it at the end of the week to see what happens. This allows that if I'm having a fluctuation, if I had a little bit more salt for my female clients, if they have a menstrual cycle or if they don't have a menstrual cycle, all these things play parts on our relationship with the scale. But by having a pattern where you're not thinking, it doesn't allow you to think long enough about it to put an emotion or connected to it. The other part is allowing energy balance. When you have consistent behaviors like meal prep, tracking, and workouts, it helps regulate your energy intake and expenditure. So when you have it on autopilot, it's actually more efficient for your brain and your body to work on it. I don't really think about what I make for lunch most days because it's essentially the same thing every single day. And if you're like, Rob, how do you eat the same thing every single day? It's really just in a pattern, and then I change it to work for me. So when I am in a weight loss phase for like photo shoots, commercials, public appearances, I need to look a little slimmer. Lunch becomes a basket, essentially a Tupperware container of mixed greens for salad, 40 ounces of protein, and a 55 gram container of salad dressing. If you wonder how I know that number right off the bat is I've measured it twice and I've had it every single day and I track it. I know these numbers and I know what it looks like. I don't have to think about it. I just do it. When I'm in a bulk, I just switch the vegetables for rice. Plain and simple. And by having like these simple things, I'm not thinking about what do I need to eat every day? What do I need to pack? Do I have to grocery shop? It all works. It's why I freak people out when I tell them I meal plan 6 months in advance. I map out that I'm going to have on every Monday some sort of chicken dish. On Tuesdays, it is Taco Tuesday, so it's almost always ground beef. Wednesday tonight is a pork night, so we're having like pork carnitas. And then Thursday is clean the leftovers out because Friday is pizza night. Saturday is a fancier meal that I have more time to cook. And Sunday, because I'm Italian, is some version of spaghetti and meatballs. So if you're like, Rob, that even sounds repetitive. It is and it isn't. Simple things like saying, like, look, Taco Tuesday means I really only have to plan 6 more days a week. Leftovers on Thursday means, look, I'm down to 5. Saturday, knowing that I have more time and I can cook a little fancier, allows me to make something that is decadent, but also I can be mindful of when I'm doing the process. The other 3 days a week are really just autopilot numbers that really work for me. But by having those consistent behaviors, it allows you to regulate what you're doing and focus on what's important when it comes to decision making. From a psychological standpoint, it's actually really hard to do boring work. We are not predisposed to do boring work, and in an age where we are raising and learning, and we have much more distractors than our primitive ancestors do, it gets really hard. So the problem is, as we've evolved, boring actually feels harder than variety. Humans have now been wired more to seek novelty and to chase dopamine hits because we have more access to dopamine than ever before. Simple way to think about it. If we were cavemen, the dopamine that you would get would essentially come from one of two sources. One would be food, the other would be sex. So it's pretty much to survive and procreate. As people started to build civilizations, build tribes and communities, raise families, now they catch dopamine from being in a community. They catch dopamine from raising a family. They catch dopamine from society. As we've evolved, I'll save us the problems of all the ways we've evolved in the last like 8,000 years. But if you look at it, you can get multiple levels of dopamine on your phone, from your tablet, or even from sitting on a community call just like this. So when we do this, we have to remember that we've almost rewired our brains as a society to chase the quick, shiny object and almost ignore the slow, steady thing underneath. So when progress feels slow, we're tempted to abandon routines. Think of when you're dieting or doing anything when it comes to weight loss. Every program that sells consistently well is the lose 30 pounds in 30-day program. Well, yeah, you see the dopamine of 30 pounds, you see that it's quick, as in 30 days, and you're like, this is two double dopamines like flashing off in my head. I want to do it. I can white knuckle for 30 days if I can get two major hits of dopamine. Unfortunately, with programs like myself, they're more based in science, and we go for more of a sustainable approach. So when people are like, I want to lose 10 pounds in the first month, I tell them, like, it might happen, but more likely what'll happen is you'll lose 2.5 pounds in the first week and maybe another 2 pounds the next week. And then you might only lose a pound every week after that. And they're like, well, that sounds terrible. I only lost like 6 pounds in the first week. It's like, yes, but hear me out. If you lost a pound a week for the next 11 months, that's 40 pounds. And if you ask me, or if you ask anyone who walks in the gym on January 1st, this time next year, would you like to be 40 pounds lighter? They would say, sign me up, take my money, throw it at me right here. Unfortunately, then we're like, hey, it's going to take 52 weeks. That's when they go, no, there's got to be a quicker way. But that's really how you have to reframe your boredom. If you think the program is boring or repetitive, it's probably better for you than the shiny object syndrome. The other part is breaking the all or nothing mindset. As bariatric patients, sometimes we struggle with dichotomous thinking, which is the idea that we either need to be perfect or completely derail. And that can be really tough. When it comes to embracing the boring, teaching patience and resilience plays a very big role in the process. Giving them the idea or the mindset of, hey, I'm going to have to do the same 3 workouts for 4 weeks in a row, and I'm just going to lift a little bit heavier every week is going to play a much bigger role. It also gives an idea of the quick fix not needing to be right there. So if you're sitting there and saying, like, hey, Rob, I love that you've given me all this theory and practice. What can I do to actually combat the boredom and make it work? And there's some simple techniques that we work with our clients that can really help. The first is simply simplifying your goal. So focusing on 1 to 2 habits that you can do daily, like hitting your protein or getting your steps in. And once those become razor sharp, moving on to the next one. Many times we let our clients for the first 2 weeks just track and do their workouts and see where they land. And based on there, our coaches really look at what habits do you already have are razor sharp? Which ones do we need to work on immediately? And how can we commit to them for 2 weeks to get them together? The next part is schedule repetition. So if you look at my calendar, the reason I'm able to program out 6 months worth of meal plans is because I'm really just following a calendar model of I'm having some sort of chicken dish every Monday. And then because I keep all my recipes in one spot, I have about 50 chicken dish recipes, which means I could put a chicken dish recipe almost every Monday a year and still have 2 weeks where I could just eat whatever I want and make it have variety. So that whole process takes only about 3 hours. And then to implement it, it's completely done for everything. What I'm willing to give to the Bari-Bestiez group is if you subscribe to my email list, I actually have that calendar mapped out for you, and you get it as a freebie as part of the program. Tracking wins is another thing. A lot of the times, clients will be frustrated, and bariatric patients get frustrated when it's like, I don't know, I haven't lost any weight. And we look at other metrics of where are your measurements coming in? How do your progress photos look? Are you getting up the stairs? We had a client who's like, I've been in a month-long stall. And I'm like, have you ever worked out 3 days a week for longer than 2 weeks? They're like, no, I've never been this consistent with my workouts ever. Well, that's pretty amazing. And just finding ways to kind of enjoy those sort of wins. Finally, finding joy in the routine. Like for me, I really enjoy what freedom I get through structure. So for an example, before this call, I'm folding laundry, I'm listening to a podcast. Or when I'm meal planning out stuff, I'll do it while I'm watching the Eagles game. So by pairing like some basic boring tasks and doing them while you're having something fun really does allow you to enjoy what you want to do. So, as we get to the end of our session, I want you to reflect on a couple different things. First is, what's one boring habit that you've avoided because it didn't feel exciting? How can you reframe that habit as essential to your success? And finally, what does your current routine say about your commitment to long-term results? Because we're recording this, you can go back and watch the recording and pause. And then we can come back and talk to it later. But I want to end on this, and this is a simple activity that I have my clients do when they're struggling with boredom. I call this Let's Make Boring Beautiful. We identify one habit that feels boring but is vital. So something like food tracking or working out or hitting our water goal. And then we commit to practicing it for 7 consecutive days. Then I have them write out how it feels on days 1, 3, and 7 to reflect on their progress. So, for an example, I'm going to hit my protein goal every day. All right, how did it feel on the first day? Felt pretty easy. I feel like I can do it the whole way through. Day 3, I don't really like it, but I've noticed that I felt fuller for longer. Day 7, wow, this is weird. I hit my protein goal all 7 days and I lost 1.5 pounds. By looking back on intermittent reflections, it makes you realize that there's actually great benefit from getting razor sharp and consistent on your things. If you are a coach or if you want an idea to work on, if you are working with clients, Design a simple daily habit plan for your clients and encourage them to embrace consistency. So that's something that I really do when I'm mentoring other coaches or people in the community is have a daily habit plan and then use it to help encourage. So in Busy Bariatrics, when a client struggles with it, I ask them how much they can commit to it and they'll say like 3 days a week. And it's like, okay, can you run our tracker 3 days a week? Meaning in our private community, can you post, did you track all your food for 3 days a week? And they'll be like, yeah, I can do that. And then usually by day 4, they're like, can I still keep doing this so that we have our daily checks in? And it allows you to keep yourself accountable while staying accountable for others. Hopefully, this helps and you've learned a lot. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And as always, keep getting busy.
Unmuting myself. There we go. I just wanted to unmute myself. Wow. I was taking notes so fast. I can tell you I'm gonna have to rewatch that one. That had a lot of great information.
It's one of the benefits of recording is for a lot of people, if you just went through and are like, that I just got waterboarded, go back, pause it, reflect, slow it down, do what you need to do. And just know like that's kind of the beauty of working with coaches and being in a community is you get it at the pace that works for you.
Yeah.
It allows you to get the benefits that you want.
That's wonderful. Pam, do you have anything you want to start with?
Oh, I'm still taking notes. I'm a note taker.
Yes, she is. Between the two of us, we take our notes very seriously.
Yeah. I loved all of it, but my favorite is the activity at the end. I'm really looking forward to that, taking that one boring task and, I love the let's make boring beautiful. And when you break it down to 1, 3, and 7 days, I think I never thought of doing it that way. I'm always looking at, okay, day 1, I'm going to do this for 7 days. And then on day 7 is when I'm trying to track my progress and look back and think, okay, what did I do? How did I succeed? And a lot of times that's when I fail because I get frustrated. But if I see progress at the end of day 1 and then day 3 and then day 7, you see that difference. I think, and that's where bariatric surgery was so great that first year because every day you've seen some type of change. So if you're tracking that new habit or that old habit that you're trying to make fun and exciting, I think that'll make a difference. I think it's something we should put into place in our daily life anyway, not just focus on this one habit from this activity. I think it should be a part of our weekly focus.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know that while I've lost 164 pounds and I've hit my maintenance mode, I lack in movement. That's an area where I require a lot of commitment. And so I like this. So I think, first just making that, I can tell you right now that that's going to be my item that I'm going to work for the next 7 days. So I'm excited about that. And I like the thought of reframing the boredom because I'm like, I'm so tired of doing this. I mean, I feel like I'm a teenager that I don't want to do the dishes. It's that kind of thing. So, and breaking that all or nothing mindset, that's me. I've always been an all or nothing person. And I've got to change that.
And I think a lot of people who have dealt with obesity, that's common. We want to see quick results. And that's kind of why we are successful that first year after surgery because it just happens so quickly and you don't have to put as much effort into that first year. And then you hit year 2 and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here? You hit your stalls. You have a little, regain and you start introducing foods into your diet that got you into that place to begin with. You stop going to the gym because, hey, I've done a 5K and I've done a 10K and I went hiking and I went biking. I've done it all. So I'm good. I can move more now than I did at 364 pounds. And that's where my mindset has been. And I've really struggled with going. I think I've been to the gym four times in the last year. And that first year and a half, I went every day, 7 days a week, sometimes morning and night. So yeah, I think we're
And
both kind of on that movement.
yeah, we're definitely on the movement thing. I mean, we're both over 2 years out, so we've got some things where we have fallen off and we need to pick back up. It's kind of part of the cycle. But I like to celebrate the small victories because we focus so much on the scale. And I know Pam and I try to bring up NSVs, the non-scale victories, but are you actually tracking your victories? Are you writing them down? Are you revisiting them to say, okay, I'm in a stall. What have I succeeded with so far? Looking back at that, I think can help a lot when you're dealing with a stall or no progress that you can see, you know. I think that's very helpful.
And I believe that's where you said with the progress over outcome
Hmm.
that prevents the burnout. And I think that's where we both kind of were. We kind of hit that burnout, and I was told, you're going to the gym every day, you're going to overdo it, you're going to burn out, and it's no longer going to be exciting and new. And that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I just have to not really reinvent the wheel, but just kind of focus on that, like we said, process over routine.
Yeah. So, Rob, I guess my question is to you, is to someone that's in where Pam and I are, where we're 2.5 years out versus someone who is just starting. What are some things that we can try and maybe separate those two? Because sometimes it can be very different. What can we do as a new person coming into the process to avoid having the issue of looking at it to be boring? How can we reframe our mindset around that? I know you gave us some examples, but maybe from a different perspective, someone who is just starting versus someone who is 2, 3, 4 years out.
So I think there are a lot of major benefits of being in your first year and reframing your habits because your body is changing and you are going to get um, most people will get results after bariatric surgery despite what they do. And I'll use myself as an example. I could still lose 5 pounds a week while eating fast food 2 or 3 times a week. And that was probably the biggest mistake I made in months 2 to 6 of my bariatric journey is I kind of rewired myself of I can eat fast food 3 to 4 times a week and still lose 5 pounds. If I could do it over again in my first year, I would take it more and work on neuroplasticity. For those of you who don't know, it's essentially the rewiring of your brain. And it's what's awesome about being a human being is whatever habits you start to incorporate, your body just naturally brings them in. So if it's something as simple as like, I like eating, lean proteins and grilled vegetables and rice. If I do it long enough and I'm seeing the scale move down, I'll start to associate that those habits, patterns, and behaviors lead to my weight loss, and I should continue to do those. If I was over a year or struggling with regain or anything like that, I always start with what gets measured, gets uh evaluated. So it's something as simple as go back and track and see where you're really at when it comes to movement and everything else, and really just go to increase by one more. I will tell you that as someone who it's cold, it's tired. I run a full-time business as well as teaching and a husband and a father. I'm not always motivated to do things. So I have a coach that I will probably not part with until I'm dead or he retires because I like having someone who programs workouts for me and keeps me accountable and says your numbers are higher than what they normally are and the scale's going up. Let's scale back for here. Having someone who can simply do that and take the thought out of it. Like I'm a very good programmer of workouts. Um, but the joke is like I'm not really good with myself. And it's kind of like you can't see the label when you're inside the bottle. Most high optimum running CEOs or athletes have a coach or a mentor who helps them get over their humps or see what they can't see. So if I was in maintenance, I would look into programs that would keep me accountable. What I really like is at Busy Bariatrics, we have models that can let you have a one-to-one coach so that you can have more of a talking stance like all of this, or an accountability level where they check in on you once a week, or even just movements and workout routines where you're getting feedback daily. So finding things that work on everything will be best for you. Sarah, I'm going to drop the link to my email list, and that I always say is the best place to stay in touch with me. But I'll also send our workouts and our nutrition and our meal plans. So just give me a second. I'll be happy to grab that.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Rob. Hey,
Hey,
Christy.
hey guys, I just wanted to jump in real quick. Um, Obviously, I know Rob pretty well, but I just wanted to say, everybody, I was on Bari-Bestiez in November when Rob was on, and I went on to his site. I did the assessment, met with Rob, and I've been with his team, our team, since then, and it has changed my journey so much, and that's why I wanted to get on tonight because I just want everybody to know on here. No, but seriously, it has changed my trajectory. I don't know about anybody else on here, but when I came out of surgery, I didn't have the support. I had it through Kaiser. I didn't hear from my doctors. I didn't hear from anybody for 6 months. I was just out here flailing, trying to figure it out, going off of websites and Facebook groups that said, "Oh, this is okay," and another one said, "This is okay." Um, and so it was really difficult. So I wanted to get on tonight, just kind of be Rob's cheerleader and Bari-Bestie cheerleader because it has changed my life dramatically. I go to the gym 3 or 4, I'm up to 4 days a week now. I get up at 4 a.m. I go to the gym before work because the team there, it's not just about what the tools they give you, it's also about the group, the community, and they push each other. You know, they have in the morning, everybody kind of chimes in who goes in, and you celebrate your highs, you celebrate your lows. Um, and that was something that was lacking for me, especially being, as Rob said, I'm only 9 months out. So, yeah, I can calculate that. But my biggest fear was to gain the weight back. It still is my biggest fear. And I work one on one with my trainer for that. But it's the best investment you can make for yourself, guys. And if it's not with Bari-Besties, then find somebody, somebody that works for you. But or with, I'm sorry, Busy Bariatrics, find somebody that works for you because nobody can do this alone.
No.
Nobody can do this alone. And when I had my 6 month checkup with my surgeon and my nurse practitioner, and I gave them like the macros that Rob and the team have me on and things like that, they literally said, "Oh, I don't know that," because I asked them, is this normal? Is this okay? What do you think? They're like, "Oh, I have no idea. You'd have to talk to a nutritionist. You'd have to talk to this." I'm like, "You're the bariatric specialist, folks. So if you're looking for your bariatric team to do it for you, they're not going to." So I just wanted to come on and be a cheerleader for both Bari-Besties and Busy Bariatrics because without Bari-Besties, I would not have met Rob and I would not have invested in myself. And yes, everybody says, "Oh, well, it costs money or it costs this," or it's an investment in yourself.
Yeah.
And as Rob said, show me where you put your money and I'll show you where you put your time. It's totally worth it. So if you need that support, please reach out to Rob and the team. They're fantastic.
I'm really,
Thanks so
really
much,
excited
Christy.
that you were able to join him directly after our
Yes.
meeting. And the one thing I had really wanted to do it myself, but I went in for my panty, so I was waiting until I healed. So, Rob, I will be reaching out to you for maintenance help.
Oh, yes.
I'm excited about that. And Christy, I greatly appreciate you hopping on to, tell everybody your experience with Rob and his team, because I think he offers an amazing opportunity where a lot
Mhm.
of surgical offices or support staff, they just don't have it.
They don't. No, they don't. And this would not have happened without both you and Pam. So kudos to both of you guys for hosting. Like I said, November, the last 3 months have been getting through the holidays, knowing how to eat through the holidays, having that support. knowing that I'm not alone when I make failures, learning how to exercise. I don't know if anybody on here knows, but I didn't know how to go to lift a dumbbell to save my life. Uh, I started at 3 and 5 pounds and I'm up to 20 and 30 pounds.
That's awesome.
Um, so, you think you can't do it, but you can, and they will help you do it.
Yeah, I found out I was doing push-ups wrong when somebody pointed it out to
Yeah.
me that day. I did the push-ups on the video. They're
Yeah.
like, your arms are out like this. You gotta be like this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
So,
Well,
like I
great.
said, invest in yourself. It's totally worth it.
That's awesome.
I want to thank Christy, and I want to also just say, like, the beauty of why I built this is I didn't have this. And when people say, well, how did you come up with the idea, the model, and everything else? I say, well, I think of everything that I wish I had after surgery, and I just put that into the program.
Yeah.
And Christy is a great example of we don't have her doing anything ridiculous. It is a very manageable program. Christy will probably tell you it is a slow, repetitive process that's just done over and over again, but it provides the structure that gets great results while she comes back from vacation on Hawaii, which I'm not jealous of at all. Got through the holidays and
Yes.
managed everything and just had the confidence and comfort of knowing that there's a team that knows what they're doing and how to guide them and get them the results that they want.
Yes. And
Nina,
then
I will say, shameless plug, we do work with plenty of clients immediately post surgery as well as
yeah.
post plastics to help them work with their surgical team to get the proper questions and answers of when can I start increasing my step goal? When can I increase my resistance band movement? When can I do light yoga? One of the beauties of our program is we really do build it out based on your surgical team, but then we hand it off to them. And one of the nicer parts is, like, I got a chance to meet with one of the larger surgical centers in Tampa this weekend. And I think we all have to remember your surgical team's job is to perform the surgery and heal you properly.
Yes.
How you live after that really is the belief and your responsibility. Which means you have to go out and seek the research, the resources, the materials. It's why, like, whenever Nina and Pam invite me on, I'm always honored because what you guys are doing to build the community is phenomenal. And if I can help support your group in any way, I do this because I love hearing stories from Christy and everyone else of who are thriving and who get daily feedback, who don't know how to lift a dumbbell to start. And our breakdown gym intimidation program shows you and allows you to send form videos to your coach so that you know exactly how to do it and how much weight to lift at the
I
same
like
time.
that. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
And I know Pam will say the same thing when you said you created Busy Bariatrics to fill a void that you had. That's why Pam and I created Bari-Bestiez, because we hit the 12-month mark and we literally were just dropped. Literally, there
It
was
was
nothing else.
just like a screeching halt.
Absolutely. And that's also when we had our first stalls.
Yeah.
And right then, wasn't far after that I broke my back too. So Pam and I just kind of put our heads together and we were like, we met on a 5K. We started talking and walking and just enjoying each other. And one day we were like, well, why don't we create
We
our
could
own
do
group?
this.
We figured maybe 50 people. Well, today we hit 2,500. So, we're really thrilled to see the growth of Bari-Bestiez and how we're helping people. We didn't realize it. I've been getting because we have the JBY and we were nominated for the top 5 in the Ageless Inspiration.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. We're excited because we had actually just wanted to volunteer and help
Yeah.
out at the JBY so we could start making connections with people. And
We just wanted to meet Mel and Kelly.
that's really what it came down to. Is we had to meet
They are
them.
great people, I will say that.
Yeah. And we were excited. We both signed up to work out with you for
Yes.
the morning
Yeah.
wellness.
That's awesome. I'm very excited to hear how many people are already signed up for it. And
Yes.
it's We have a really awesome venue, and I'm bringing my team of coaches down. So you
Oh,
have
wonderful.
support from people who I've helped lose over 130 pounds and 80 pounds, respectively.
That's
Uh,
awesome. So
yeah,
for someone like me who has zero, and I mean zero muscle tone, I assume I'm going to be starting from the beginning. My focus on my weight loss journey was just to lose the weight, and then I broke my back. I
yeah,
literally couldn't exercise for, almost a year. So now I've been given full release. I'm also fully released from my paniculectomy. So I assume that for someone like myself who's coming in and really needs to just learn how to exercise again, that
yeah.
that's something that you guys can do.
It's um, it's
So
really
neat.
we work with a lot of clients at a lot of different rates, and we get them up. Lisa, our head programmer, had never
Mhm.
lifted before. She now squats over 300 pounds, has lost
Wow.
over 130 pounds, and is a certified personal trainer. All of our coaches hold certifications from both NASM and other accreditations, but we intentionally help our clients build muscle, burn fat, and build a lifetime of achievement. And Kylie, our other coach, is a corrective exercise specialist who has had back issues and back surgery
Mhm.
herself and
Okay.
has helped clients come back and bounce on that.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great
I was
because
just
I
gonna
don't want to break it again.
I was just going to say that, Rob, that there's plenty of people on our team that have had injuries that I've seen that even currently have injuries, and they modify your training. But what you said is exactly how I was. I had no muscle mass when I started, none. I felt like my arms were just wobbly all over,
Yep.
and now I can barely, but I can see a little bit of muscle definition.
Uh-huh.
And so even though my scale's not moving, my inches are, and
That's
so
and see to me the inches were more important than my pounds. That was always my thing with
yep.
my doctor, my surgeon. He's like, "How much do you want to lose?" I said, "I want to get into this size. I don't care how many pounds it is. This is where I want to be." Um, because as our group people know, we have people from all ages, but we do focus kind of on the 40 and up group, just because that's where Pam and I are. And when you hit that age, your body starts changing. That's my old man right here, um, 3 months older. But anyway, our body changes, and we need to start preparing our body to protect our bones as we grow older. And that's really where I'm focused right now, is protecting myself from having hip issues and all kinds of arthritis issues as much as I can. And in addition to getting in shape and looking my best and feeling my best.
Yeah, I can't stress how important it is and how we have clients in their 50s and 60s even who are putting on muscle, increasing their bone density,
Yeah.
increasing their metabolism, learning how to eat balanced and to drive their nutrition. It's probably one of the coolest things is we have people working from all ranges from I'm helping a client get ready for their wedding in July to other clients who are getting ready for their children's wedding. And
Wow.
just showing that like it's a slow, steady progress, but it will get you the results that you want as long as you commit to the work and stay consistent with.
Awesome. Anybody else have any questions? Thank you, Christy. I sent Christy a thank you for speaking up tonight because I thought it was awesome to hear her story and to hear it from her perspective. Um, is there anything else anybody has any questions about for Rob or even for Bari-Bestiez in general today? And Rob, the links that you sent, while I'm looking for those, the links that you sent or the link that you sent, that will take them to your page. Is that correct?
Yep. So when you click on that link, it'll send you to sign up for my email list. And on our email list, we give a whole bunch of free resources. The first, I want to say 30 emails that you'll get from us are my top tips, tricks, resources, downloads, and ebooks that'll help you crush your bariatric journey. And then you'll get 4 emails a week from me on how to optimize your bariatric journey, and then a fifth one that covers all the ways you can save money and get everything else that comes with it.
Man,
So
that's a lot.
yeah,
That's amazing.
it's funny because we kind of have this model, and I'm shutting my eyes because I have to think of it. Uh, we essentially release to our clients everything first. And then 3 months later, it goes onto our email list.
Hmm.
And then 3 months after that, we add it to our welcome email list. So any resource that we've made, if you just subscribe, you keep getting one extra one. So
Hmm.
you get like 30 days of gifts, insights, and things that have done well for everything.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
I'm also going to send one more.
Was there some kind of form that needed to be filled out if you wanted to?
Correct. So we
Yeah.
do kind of just need your email address. If you are willing to part with it and your first and last name, we will give you everything else from there.
Okay, perfect.
And then I'm gonna give one more. I'm gonna send it through Instagram, Nina, if you don't
Sure.
mind.
Yeah, I'll grab it from Instagram.
But I have a podcast because it's 2025 and who doesn't these days? So
Well, we're working on ours, so we're excited to. We need to learn from some people who have been there before us, that's for sure. But
the offer always stands. Just set up some time and I'd be happy to help.
oh, that would be wonderful. I'm sure Pam and I would love that. Let me pull up.
All right. I just sent that through Instagram. If you could just send it
Yep,
through.
I'm pulling it up now. And do it as a message. Was it to Bari-Bestiez in Instagram, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. Um, Messages. You see, I'm in that generation where we like Facebook and that's about it. So I'm learning all this new technology for me. There we go.
I'm the exact same way when my coaches and mentors say I need to get on TikTok, and I'm kind of like, I can't do another one. Like I
So
just
I will share this podcast link in our group. And
perfect.
that way everyone in our group can have access to it. And I think this is wonderful. Oh, so you
And
literally just started doing this. This is wonderful.
it's fresh. Yeah. So
Yeah, so
we have
that's kind of
about
like us. So I will learn from you. We will learn from you.
yeah, we have about 20 episodes recorded, but we've just started releasing them because I got busy.
Yeah.
Um, but it's kind of cool. These first episodes kind of show exactly how we get our clients results. And season 2, we brought on some amazing registered dietitians to
That's
discuss
awesome.
everything you need and to go from there.
That is awesome. All right. So I will, hey guys, I will send that stuff out in our group tonight because we want everybody in the Bari-Bestiez to have access to it. It's going to be access to his episodes, or to the he is very busy, busy bariatrics, but he has a team, which is amazing. Pam and I need a team.
I will, it always starts as like a guy in his basement. And
Yes,
then
that's how we've been doing it. If I turn my camera, um, Bari-Bestiez podcast and area is over here. So I've got half my office where I work, and the other half is bariatric stuff.
when everyone thinks that like, oh, the setup here is really nice, I always do this. I literally am right next to a pantry.
I was
So
I
about to
love
say
it.
that looks like paper. Hold on.
it
Watch this,
is.
honey.
It
See, that's
100%.
50.
This isn't a real wall. So it's like
Oh yeah.
that's smoke mirrors and everything else. Also,
That's
I'm gonna leave this in here for the chat because I try to leave as much
yeah.
freebies and whatnot. If you apply, you get a 30-minute clarity call. Actually, let me give you the free metabolic assessment. I'm going to do one better. If you're like, look, I want to sign up, that is the application, but I'm also going to send the metabolic assessment. And this is essentially where I will walk you through what you can do to best optimize your bariatric journey, how we would help you build it together, or at least give you the tools of here's how I would build it myself. So,
Okay. That's amazing. I'm looking forward to looking at that myself.
yeah.
Best 30-minute call that changed my life.
That's awesome. I love, you're going to have to use that as a quote. Best 30-minute
Right.
call that changed my life.
We're still recording, right?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Christy, we'll be cutting a lot of this and adding it to the promo work.
There we go.
I
There we
think
go.
Christy's our next interview. What do you think?
I think Christy definitely is our next interview. So, Christy, we're going to be reaching out to you to do an interview with you for sure.
She's done amazing, and Christy really does reinforce, like, we're not cutting her carbs, we're not putting her on some ridiculous workout plan. She doesn't have a metabolic window that she can only eat on odd number hours.
Right.
Really is just getting really good at the basics and keeping a consistent, accountable level, and she's doing a great job. So
Yeah.
That is
In the
awesome.
beginning, you're like, is this it? Like, there's got to be more. Like, I'm not doing that. But really, it's not. It's consistency and building habits. And honestly, my body now does it on its own. So, like this morning, my alarm didn't go off, but guess what? My body woke me up and said, it's time to go.
See, that's what
So,
I need. I
so
don't,
it's building the habits that have really changed. It really has changed everything for me. It's a game changer.
that is awesome. I
in
love
the
it.
in the coaching world, we always joke that the unsexiest programs get the sexiest results, and the sexiest programs get the unsexiest results. So,
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
yeah.
We're pretty unsexy, aren't we?
Yeah, we're sexy and we know it. Sorry, I have to be silly. I'm just excited, I'll be honest, because now that my paniculectomy is done, I'm ready to dive in head first and start getting some tone.
When
Especially,
you're ready, we're here for you.
oh, I'm very ready, so I'll be reaching out. Guys, I will also post all of these links tonight before I get off the computer. I will make sure it's in our page as well. I need to actually create a section in our group for Busy Bariatrics so we can keep the links live and active. Just making sure there's no other questions before we let Rob get ready for his evening. And if everybody's good, Rob, thank you so much for coming again. I love working with you, and I'm excited. I know Pam and I both are excited to come work with you at JBY. So,
Yeah.
Ladies, the honor's all mine, and thank you for all you do. I always look at it as the more lighthouses there are, the easier it is to get the ship's to port.
I like that.
And
I like
I'm
that.
just really happy to see all that you're doing, and just know whatever you need, I'm here.
We appreciate that so much, Rob.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And besties, we appreciate your time tonight. Go enjoy your rest of your evening. Stay warm. If you are over here in the East Coast, we are cold.
We're freezing.
Very, very cold.
And see you next Thursday. Don't forget Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits is next week. What is it? Chapter 2 and
Chapter 2 through 6
2 through 6.
with homework.
Be ready, guys. Guys, thank you again. Rob, I will send you this as soon as it finishes downloading.
Appreciate it, and keep up the hard work, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.